ASEAN Conversations is brought to you by UOB.
You're listening to Money FM 89.3. I'm Ryan Huang. In a rapidly changing financial landscape, UOB is leading the way with a bold, first-of-its-kind initiative to reshape career paths within the bank. By launching the Better You Pivot program, UOB is not only preparing its employees for future roles, but also transforming the way job transitions are supported through tailored learning and mentorship. This commitment to talent development is further amplified by the establishment of the Artificial Intelligence and Data Analytics Center of Excellence for fresh graduates. That's a joint effort with top academic and industry partners aimed at building cutting-edge AI and data expertise within the finance sector. To find out more, we have with us Dean Tong. He is the Head of Group Human Resources at UOB. Dean, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Ryan.
Well, great to have you here because there is lots to talk about when it comes to some of these new programs. And of course, in front of us is the Better You Pivot program. What drove UOB to develop this? How does it support job transformation within the bank?
To answer this question, we have to go back to 5 years ago when we first launched Better You. At that point in time, we didn't have a clear idea of which job will be transformed, but we know it's coming. So what we did was we actually focused on 5 foundation areas, if you will, such as growth mindset, problem solving, human-centered design. But over the years, we also learned that to do a transformation, a transition to a new role, it's more difficult than one can think about, right? Based on the individual, there's a big change. And a change is oftentimes difficult, especially if you're moving to a totally new job function. The receiving managers as well. You have the option of hiring someone straight from the market. Why would you, take the time to take someone who have no skill but retrain them? And then, of course, the organization. If you look from an ROI perspective, this is typically not a good return on investment type of proposition. So through this experience, we have now come to a point where we believe that the stars are aligned. We are going through a transformation within the organization, and we have identified some 500 jobs that will be impacted by this. And we know where the new opportunities, growth areas are. So we have a specific job where we can move the individual towards. This is what we call the place and train method. That means you place the candidate into a new role first, and then you provide bespoke reskilling to help the individual get up to the skills that's required to run the job. Now, along the way, there's also a lot of soft skills that needs to be tackled as well in order to help with this transition. And we do provide coaching not only for the candidate, but also for the hiring manager so that he or she can support the candidate in this transition. And in order to show that we are committed to this transition, UOB as an organization, we provide a 12-month period where the candidate will be protected, not against any drop of performance, because you need time to learn after all. Yeah. So that's where we actually came from, through a lot of lessons that we have learned, and we have come to this refined model, and we're confident that this will actually increase the chances of success significantly.
Yeah, quite timely to have this because the business and technology landscape is changing so fast and you want to be able to keep up. So let's talk about the program's customized learning paths and coaching, because it helps employees transition themselves into new roles. And I think everyone's different, right? Different stages of lives, different needs. How does this work into that type of scenario?
So before we place someone into the new role, we actually do a job matching. And for us, if we are able to hit 50 or 60% matching skills, then you have a chance of doing this transition. If it's lower than that, then no matter how much training you provide, it's going to be an uphill battle. So that's a starting point, right? So we need to make sure that we are placing people into the right job to begin with. Now, once the person is placed into the job, we identify specifically which are the technical areas that needs to be closed. And this is where we work with our partners to come in and provide that bespoke training to help them close the gap. Perhaps we can actually get to 60, 70, 80%, right? The rest will need to be learned on the job. Right. So that's the journey that we expect them to go through, and they will need some time to get up to speed, hence the 12-month period to help them through that transition.
Talking about partners, you're working as well with institutes of higher learning. How does UOB's partnership enhance the effectiveness of the Better You Pivot initiative?
Given that we are looking at quite a number of roles that we need to train for, it's unrealistic that UOB provide all the training ourselves. We need to leverage the scale that the industry has to provide by the Institution of Higher Learning. So together with NUS, for example, depending on the areas that we're actually training for, we can actually provide very specific training to close the gap required for them to do their job. We have also partnered Ngee Ann Polytechnic to provide the coaching that is required to go through such a transition. Again, I do not underestimate the challenges to actually go through a job transition such as this and moving from one function to the other at someone middle to late stage of their career. And so this needs to be supported, and this is where the partners are supporting us. And then with IBF, it actually provides us with a framework to actually look at the job and what are the skill set that we need to train them for into the future. So all these partners actually come in and play different roles in this ecosystem.
Now, great to have the partners in place, the experts as well to help with this transition. Let's talk about the AI and Data Analytics Center of Excellence. It's all about AI and data these days, especially in the finance sector. Walk us through some of the key features and how this supports the development of future-ready talent in this sector.
Yeah. Think of it as we do have a management associate program in place. Today, the management associate program takes in more like a generalist that we actually rotate them around. But with this AI program that we have in place, we're actually taking graduates specifically from the AI space, artificial intelligence as well as data analytics. And we put them through a 12-month of practical application at the job. And here we also work with the with NUS to provide them with a certification of application at work. So this is to give them real-life experience to make what they have learned from the universities to be applied in the real job experience, and to work also within the ecosystem that can actually help them accelerate their growth learning process.
So not just theory, you're actually learning how it works in the actual industry. And so that's something important for, I think, people to learn and also take away. So how do initiatives like Better You Pivot and the AI and Data Analytics Center of Excellence align with UOB's broader strategy to future-proof its workforce?
Yeah. It has always been our philosophy to provide our employee with a growth proposition. This is part of the UOB way value proposition. And we believe in growing our own timber. And so this actually smacks right in the middle of being right by our employee throughout their journey.
All right, growing your own timber and getting the future or the workforce future ready. We've been in conversation with Dean Tong. He is the Head of Group Human Resources at UOB. Dean, thanks for your time and great chatting with you.
Thank you very much.